Join us for a review of the BMW 3 Series 330i. Let's go. In the new generation, you can see here the new 3 Series has a wider front grille, here with chrome frames around. The headlamps lead over to that, so that's, a very fluent design definitely. And this is here the Sport line model. You can also get an M Sport that would be even sportier in the design, but here already the Sport line has a stronger lower bumper and also different accentuations right here. The length is at 4.70 meters, 15'4" or 185 inches, which is a notable gain in length actually if you compare it to the predecessor. And from which side will I enter the stage today? Today from the rear. Hello. So wheels start from 16 inch, 17, 18 we have here. So 18-inch wheels for this very vehicle here. It also goes up to 19-inch then. Once again, as here a rather classic sedan shape. You can see the design line, the main design line dividing in light and shadow above the door handles, and then the classic sedan shape here. Suspension-wise, really interesting. There is a base suspension, a new one, which is including hydraulic cushions. We have that here today. Option, you can go for an M Sport suspension, which is the same base but just stiffer and a little bit lower. And then option, you can also get an adaptive suspension, which has more variety span. We've been driving the M Sport and the adaptive suspension so far in the 3 Series. Today, first time with the base suspension. Let's see how that plays out. In the rear, biggest design change, new tail lamps here in the 3-dimensional style and also a more modern signature right here. I think that really suits the vehicle. It you immediately see, oh, that's the new 3 Series. 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine for the day in the 330i here, 258 horsepower, either with rear-wheel drive or optional X-Drive all-wheel drive, but we prefer the rear-wheel drive here today. Yay! There's also a weaker 320i with 184 horsepower, and of course then you also have the 3-liter 6-cylinder petrol engine available in the performance models, and on the diesel side also 2-liter 4-cylinder and 3-liter 6-cylinder. And there's also the 330e, the plug-in hybrid petrol. We also have a review of that. The inside of the doors, good quality materials, soft touch. Also sensor tech like red being used here, Hofmeister King design, door handles, high class quality. Here some space also for some bottles. 6 speakers, 10 speakers, or optional here 16 speakers for the Harman Kardon top sound system. Really nice performance. Then you can see here the steering wheel in the M style right here. Because I have the Sport line, digital instruments on the left, zoom more to that. Seats here today with animal skin spec option, but there are also animal free options. Sensor tech in the US, for example. You have in Europe fabric as base, and also in this model here, the Sport line, or also an M Sport, it would be fabric on the inside and sensor tech on the outside, which would also be a suitable mix. Let's get inside, and in this new 3 Series you have a little bit more space on all of the seats actually. Steering wheel can be moved in and out, up and down very easily, nice and smooth process, and it's a typical mid-size sedan seating position. Interior overview, once again massive speaker output here from the 16 speakers. Harman Kardon sound system. Option we have here is also the center tech dashboard. It's softer, also is nicer in the structure and also with some stitching here. Then the screen here is very well integrated, also mirrors the lower design part right here. Climate unit is still manual, like to have it that way, easy to control it while driving. And also manual volume knob here with some nice metal knurling around. That's cool. Steering wheel, right side for volume control and also activating voice input if you don't use activation word. Left side for the cruise control, and these rubber pads have been improved, so it feels better now with a more hard surface here. Then the setup for the screen, it would start 8.8 inch smaller one. Optional this here, the 10.25 inch screen. Left side either analog gauges with 5.7 in the middle, or then 12.3 inch digital instruments like this. This unit together is the BMW Live Cockpit Professional. Then you have everything you can get what they offer. The digital instruments really come to life only when you start the engine. Here we go. Also some nice visualization. And why do the RPM go counterclockwise? Well, because then you have some space on the inside, for example, then for the GPS view. Overall, very nicely done. You don't have too many options, but you actually don't need them. It shows you everything you might need. And it also adapts a little bit, sports mode, more red, and Eco Pro, for example, in more bluish atmosphere. And a nice option is also the head-up display showing you speed, allowed speed, and also some GPS directions. Now you see the map, and we can also use the voice input. Hello BMW, drive me to Berlin.
All right, our next destination is Berlin.
So that works pretty well, and also some other commands available, of course. The map in general is also, very good as for the visualization, using the hotkey here. You can also zoom in and out, also with the lower control knob. And when he has calculated the route, then it's also quite responsive. Just while calculating the route, it's not responsive. Other than that, the CPU is also just fine. The rest of the main menu looks like this. And the rear view camera, let's take a look at that. Great resolution, and in top spec here you also have that not only a normal rear view, but also the fake drone view from above. The rear compartment is a nice change here in the new 3 Series generation, and we also have soft touch at the inside of the door. Again, a very high build quality. This is one of the biggest changes going through the new generation. And also, since the wheelbase has been lengthened, you have also more legroom than before, so you can easily sit here with 4 tall adults. The boot space has been increased to 480 liters because there's nothing to put up here, no cover. They just went lower with the boot and therefore has more luggage capacity. And we can also put a cabin trolley inside. You can see how that fits, and easily also fits here in the vertical way. You see I already folded one. 2/3 of the seat. It's also possible to unleash the other one like this, and you can use your luggage to push it right through like this, for example. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the BMW 3 Series G20, this new generation. Today with the 330i rear-wheel drive. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, 3 Series rear-wheel drive, like that. And put it to a sports mode here, so we have a little bit more boost and also more throttle input. Camera position a little bit weird, but only that way you can read the speed here in the digital instruments, which is placed at the left side. We're starting at 30 kilometers an hour and accelerated. I'll wait for the other car. Safety first, of course, always on Autogefuel. So 30 kilometers an hour and let's go. That's 200, and I think reasonable acceleration. Also felt a nice push from the rear. Still also quite silent in here. Good noise insulation with the optional noise insulation package, and car is suspension-wise very stable on the road. Once again, what I criticize here, the low angle, low degree steering feeling in the 3 Series, not the best one. They have to work on that. But here the car is so sovereign on the road, So especially suspension-wise here, and the base suspension is really sporty enough, no doubt about that. The steering is fun and feels a little bit artificial, I think. So, and for BMW, I think that's probably, once again, my biggest criticism point here. No matter in which driving situation you are, it should be more natural in the feeling. They can do it. They have it in all of their other vehicles, definitely. Oh, there's the police. Let's see what they're... Not sure what they're up to. I think they're collecting something there. I don't know. Yeah. Well, but we did nothing wrong, so we don't have anything to worry about. Well, now and here in a tunnel, you can see how it looks like at night here. Also a little bit with the ambient lighting. It's definitely also a very nice perspective. We can always go back to the normal comfort mode, for example. And then the throttle input changes a little bit, and also the shifting characteristics. In the sport mode, the gears are turned up higher, and you also heard the sound. And I think for a 2-liter 4-cylinder, that sound we got here on the interior is actually quite nice. You know, nowadays almost all manufacturers work with sound actuators. Meanwhile, I don't think it's a bad thing anymore, because it's a good thing that the usual engine noise is very well insulated from the cabin. That belongs to that also tires and rolling noise, wind noise are insulated. And the catch is that we can hardly hear the engines anymore, so we need to use the sound actuators then to, you know, if you want to have like this sporty feeling still. And I have to say, driving dynamics wise, besides of the, you know, a little bit of a steering feeling, once again, very well done here in the new 3 Series. This car feels so much more refined. You know, there was a time where BMW was struggling a little bit with the look and feel build quality on the interior, and this is definitely gone now also in this very segment. If we compare also the competitors, this one here is definitely among the top ones. So I think an Audi A4 and the BMW 3 Series is at the moment the best look and feel build quality on the interior. And of course, something like that is always, you know, a part of while driving the vehicle. And you can of course use the voice activation. Set temperature to 21 degrees.
All right. I set the temperature in the driver's area on 21 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, that's good. For example, temperature input works well, but I mean, we do still have a manual AC unit here, so that's not really necessary. Most of the time I really use this then for the GPS input, for example, that you don't have to, you know, type in the letters of the address and so on and so on. However, I think that the activation works sometimes doesn't work too well. So at the moment here, the standard Hello BMW is programmed in, and sometimes, you know, it's like Hello BMW, and nothing happens. So I think maybe it's good then to put a personal activation word, which is maybe like a little bit different, so that might work better than in this case. So once again, we're going back on the motorway. You can see we don't need too much steering angle, that's actually good, but once again, you're a little bit loose than in this thing. It is, by the way, a little bit different here. In the sports mode, you have a little bit more resistance, but even not, you know, as much as I would probably like to have. And you can see the Eco Pro mode, where everything goes blue. That again helps you with more efficient driving. And we can also, by the way, set the cruise control here once again, so you can see the distance to the car in front of us being kept, even though when I, for example, set the speed a little bit higher, now speed is being reduced anyway. And once again, the car is keeping me in the lane. Also showing me here in the instruments that it's recognizing the car in front of us. Blind spot monitor, by the way, when we set the turning indicator at the same time, then it also flashes as an additional warning. That's always a good thing to have as well. And one more acceleration when we are already at speed, from 80 kilometers now to whatever. Yeah, that's 180 now, that should be enough for now. And here, very stable suspension wise in this high speed corner. Almost feels Nürburgring Nordschleife like a little bit. Lane change at high speed, super stable once again. But the steering feeling, I won't be happy about that today. They really have to fix that. Sorry, I can't stress that enough. It wouldn't make me like not necessarily like not buy the car, because the car is still very good after all, definitely, but it would seriously annoy me, definitely. So, wow, really good suspension wise, evening out these waves and so on. So this new hydraulic cushion technology is working very well indeed, and yeah, this car really feels very good also at high speeds. So typical German Autobahn car. And now to the conclusion for today with the BMW 330i, this new 3 Series generation. From the exterior, I think more, bigger stance on the road, sporty design, interesting also with the different daytime running lights here, depending on the LED trim you have. And you also have some nice colors available. A classic sedan style, and especially from the tail lamps, it has, more modern shape than before. Interior build quality, a massive step forward in this new generation, definitely. Nice design, also again a great build quality, and also the functionality, the user interface is very good. Simple and straightforward, and also the voice input is actually at a very good stage. Meanwhile, we know with the Polestar 2 there's even better. So of course this one, considering also some other competitors, actually at a very good stage. Also more space in the interior than before, especially more legroom in the rear. That's again another step forward. You do also get some sustainable seats on the interior. You can pick them even if we didn't have them here today. Driving wise, very sovereign on the road, good performance from the engine, both power-wise and also fuel economy-wise, as we told you earlier. So very good in the fuel economy, actually. So this has also been improved. In general, it's one of the best cars in the segment. Yes, the only thing, from that steering feel, I'm not sure why they really messed up that in this low degree, region. I'm not sure about that. They have to fix it with the facelift. That's probably the biggest flaw with this car at the moment. Everything else, I have to say, really convincing. And it's totally fine to pick one of the base 3 Series with a smaller engine and not with all the equipment included. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you next time.